Hello, welcome to Bring Back Paper, and today what I wanted to do with you was share some of the reads that I've been getting through over the summer. This is something that I'll try and do a bit more regularly going forward, so it's more of a monthly thing, so it's perhaps just a handful of books because I've got quite a big pile of books that I've been reading. I will whiz through it and then perhaps just leaving comments if you've got any questions for anything that I've read, or if you've read it, I'd love to hear from you and see what you thought about it. So I'm just going to fly through some of the things that I've been reading. And the first thing that I'm going to start with, I have been on a bit of a chick lit binge. So I've read various books, some by authors that I haven't tried, some by my favourite authors, so I will show you. So the first one off my pile is this one by Heidi Swain, Sunshine and Sweet Peas in Nightingale Square. This and this are the only two books that I've read by this author, and they're my first books that I've read by this author. On Instagram I happened to mention her, and loads of you were like, oh gosh, can't believe you haven't read her before. I hadn't, and I do feel foolish now because she's really good. I really enjoyed these, so I will look out for more books by her. So if you've not tried her yet, I would recommend her. Just let me move those on. I've then read, if I just show you these couple, these were both, I got The Little Cafe in Copenhagen and The Cozy Tea Shop in the Castle. These were both by authors, again, that I haven't read before, and I really enjoyed them both. They were easy reads. I would say, having explored Heidi Swain's books and these books, I'll be looking for more Heidi Swain, more so of the new chick lit authors that I've tried, but I enjoyed them both. Then there's these, which I'll just 1, 2, 3. Do you know what? I don't actually know exactly when I read these. I've read them at some point in the last few weeks, maybe even 2 or 3 months, I don't know. Jenny Colgan, she is one of my favourites. I really enjoy her, and some of these, as you can probably tell, with the Wheat Street Bakery, and these are both one after the other as well. She does write some where it's the same characters and it develops a story, which I enjoy reading. So I like those books. Move those to there. And then I will go for Katie Ford. Katie Ford is someone that I read quite early on actually as chick lit, and I dip in and out. I would say if I see one of her reads in a charity bookshop or whatever, I usually grab one because I know I'm going to enjoy it. They're not the sort of thing that I desperately need to get like all of the new ones, but I enjoy them. They don't disappoint me. This one then, Sunshine at the Comfort Food Cafe. I quite enjoyed it. It didn't grab me. I struggled a little bit to connect with the characters and the way that the author was writing. But yeah, fine, easy read. Millie Johnson, A Spring Affair, I really enjoyed this one. I really like Millie Johnson books, and they all seem quite different, always well written and always quite different as well, the storylines and the characters. So I would recommend that one. I really enjoyed that. Carol Matthews, it's got my hair in it. With or Without You, I enjoyed this one as well. Again, Carol Matthews does very different stories, I think, to the next. The characters have all got quite different stories, and I really enjoyed that one. That one was with Jake and Lisa. If you've read that, I enjoyed that one. I've got to move these. I've got to move my piles. See, I am whizzing through it. And then these 3 that I've read, I actually have read that and that in the last couple of weeks, I think. And that one probably about a month ago. Lucy Diamond, again, she's one that I really like. I have read quite a lot of her books, and I really enjoy them. They are usually, I'm just scanning the back to see if all of these are. Yes, they are usually as much a story about friendship and finding friendship as they are, which actually the Heidi Swain books were, thinking about it now in my head, they work quite similarly, which I enjoyed, as they are about like the relationship side of things and the more romance. It's usually about new beginnings, fresh starts, friendships perhaps coming out of difficult relationships, that type of thing. And it's usually the story, she tends to run 3 characters' stories, I intertwine them all together. I really enjoyed that. She's done that with all of those. She doesn't do it with all of her books. I can think of some of her books that she doesn't necessarily do that with, but she has with these, and I very much enjoyed them. Right, that is all the chick lit that I've read in the last couple of months. So, what do these count as chick lit? Do they? Regency Romance, historical fiction, whatever you want to call it. These two books are by two of my favourite authors. I always pre-order anything that Eloisa James writes, anything that Sarah MacLean writes, and anything that Julia Quinn writes. I believe she's got one coming out in a couple of months actually. It's on my pre-order list. I will have it. I love Regency Romance. It is the ultimate in snuggling down, escaping to me. And these particular, I've read a lot of different authors, and some of them I enjoy, some of them I don't, but these particularly, they're very intelligently written, they're witty, they're funny, they usually make me laugh out loud. And I always enjoy the characters. Both of these are parts of a series, so it's Eloisa James's new Born to be Wild, which is part of her Wild series. I think that's the third one. And then Wicked and the Wallflower by Sarah MacLean, which is, it's kind of some of the characters we've seen before basically in some of the series. So I tend to read these very, very quickly. I really enjoy them. So, then a couple of thrillers. I do tend to read quite a few thrillers, as you can see, over the last, maybe it's the summer feelings made me go more to chick lit, because I've read a lot of chick lit, whereas there's usually a bit of more thrillers really, but these are the only ones I've read. Tess Gerritsen, it was her new book. I think I've read all of her Rizzoli and Isles series. Really enjoy Tess Gerritsen. I know whenever I pick those up, it's going to grip me, and I'll whiz through those. Really enjoyed it. And then Kate Ellis. If you've not read Kate Ellis before, they're always set in Britain. These are the Wesley Peterson books, which are set down in Devon. And there's usually, well, every one of them has like a present day murder, but there's usually, you sort of getting a throwback to the past, so something that might have happened in the past. You might be reading a diary, for example, from something that happened in the past, or a retelling, and somehow they're linked. There's usually an element of archaeology within it as well. So I really enjoy those, and again, because I've read quite a few of those now, you get to know the characters as well over time, but you could just, they're standalones, you could just pick them up whenever. Same with the Rizzoli and Isles, but I quite enjoy those. I've got another one of those on my pile to read. And then these I've kind of put in the last three reads are separate. They don't really fit any of these categories. So I have read Room by Emma Donoghue. Again, when I put this on Instagram, loads of love for this book. Oh, a lot of you like this book. Some people say it's their favourite book ever. Some people saying it's really stayed with them. And I do get why, because it's quite a different read. It's written from, you're basically reading it from the perspective of the 5-year-old boy, which is quite an unusual way to write a book and to read a book. So I enjoyed it. The premise is all is known is a room. He's been born in a room to his mum, who is trapped in a room. And then the story obviously develops, and you start to get a little bit more, but always through his eyes and how he's seeing it. So it develops in quite an interesting way as well. Perhaps a way that an adult wouldn't necessarily tell that story. It's his way. But I enjoyed that. I read that quite quickly. It was good. And I do get why there's so much love for it, because it is quite different, and I think it is a story that will stay with me. Then this one, a lot of people saying that they absolutely love it, and then a lot of people saying they really couldn't stand it and they really couldn't get into it and they had to abandon it. So it seems a little bit Marmite. I'd say I've had more people saying that they love it than not, but it's one of those. I think as well, because it has been top of the bestseller charts for so long, lots of people have read it. I read this, I finished it just yesterday. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I thought it made me laugh out loud at some points, then it made me sad. it was totally different. It was an interesting read. She's an interesting character. I liked the way that her story unfolded. It felt like I was going on a journey with her and getting to understand her. And obviously, as the book develops, if you've read it, you will understand it is a journey. She's probably been at a certain point for so long, and then characters come into her life and things change, and it starts to unpick it a bit, and it challenges her to do things a little bit differently. But I'd recommend that. I enjoyed it. Again, Eleanor's probably one that will stay with me. And lastly, but not least, I read the Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Society. This, again, quite different to something that I've read before. The way that the book's written is it's all in letters. So like the first couple of pages, I've read books before that the first few pages are letters and you sort of getting a feel for it through the correspondence. But I did imagine it was going to go into a bit of a story, but it doesn't. It's letters. And it's great. You get to really know the characters whilst you go through. It's about Guernsey, just post Second World War, and an author as well that wants to uncover some things that have been going on there and their stories. It's stories of friendship, it's stories, there's a real innocence to a lot of it, but then it's the Second World War, so you've sort of got the innocence interlaid with the graphic brutality as well of some of the things that happened. Obviously it's a work of fiction, but some of it's are based on facts and things that happened. So I really, really enjoyed that. I would recommend that. It's quite a different read, but I really like that one. It was a very good read. So that's it. That was as fast as I could take it through, because there's, I don't know, 20 odd books there. What I'll try to do going forward is I'll do this, say, once a month, when I've usually probably only read 4, 6, 7 books, something like that. I tend to read a book or two a week, depending on what's going on. So I will update you going forward with that. If you don't, I am on Instagram, and I will frequently feature what I'm reading on Instagram, either on my main grid, or my Insta stories will always be saying what I'm picking up and putting down story-wise. And I am the Reading Residence there, or the Reading Residence, if you prefer. So you'll be able to find me there. And also do remember that we've got a Bring Back Paper Facebook group now, which I am loving. I think we've got over 150 members in there now. It's quite new. And it's just loads of people that love paper. So we talk books in there, stationery, beautiful stationery finds, inspirational little stationery crafts, paper crafts, snail mail, pen pals, all sorts of things. So please do come along and join in the chat, or just enjoy having a little look through the feed. Just search Bring Back Paper on Facebook and I will approve you. I will let you into that group. So I hope you enjoyed it. I would love to hear if you have read any of these, what you thought, if I've whizzed through and you've gone, oh, I really like that, and you said you didn't. I'd be interested to hear. I love having little chats about books. Or if you were looking for more recommendations from any of these, always happy to hear from you. Just let me know in comments or contact me on social media. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.